All right, y'all. So you have some footage of yourself surfing, or maybe your kids surfing, and you want to put the footage together into a video, but you don't know how to. Well, it's not as difficult as you may think if you take the step to at least try, and I'm here to break down that barrier so you can get comfortable editing your own surf videos. I'm going to explain my personal workflow of how I edit, including my thought process behind the music I pick and the editing tricks I use. On top of that, I'll provide one huge tip that will help every single one of you, regardless of what computer system or editing software you happen to have. So let's get going. Boom. We have just created ourselves a video. What's up, y'all? Brett Barley here with another tutorial, but this time instead of diving into surf techniques, we're diving how to edit your own surf videos. Assuming you already have the footage on a camera, let's dive into the computer and hard drive aspect of things first. So first off, I edit on a 2019 MacBook Pro that's fully spec'd out. I have all of my 2020 footage on this G Technology G-RAID hard drive, and all my older stuff on these LaCie D2 Quadra hard drives. I have this set up because video work is part of my job, so it's been necessary for me to invest in the proper equipment over the years. But don't worry, if you're just doing this for fun, you do not need all this stuff. And the best way to ease the pain of editing and watching footage on your computer, regardless of its age, is to shoot at a lower video resolution. If you don't have a fast computer, avoid 4K or super slow motion footage. Stick to 1080p and 120 frames per second or less. The less complicated the files you record, the easier your computer and hard drive can handle the footage. Also, I'm not gonna go diving into hard drive options and prices because that's an entire video in and of itself, and there's already plenty of places to look online for those tips. Though I will suggest either G-Tech or LaCie for quality and reliable hard drives. Anyway, moving on, you have your computer, you have your hard drive, hopefully, and it's time to get into editing. For me, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I started out with Windows Movie Maker back when I was 12, then iMovie when I was 16, finally upgrading to Final Cut Pro when I was 20, and Premiere Pro when I was 24. It was kind of a gradual process of desiring more technical control, and I've become comfortable with Premiere Pro and plan on sticking with it. Now, for you, if this is a hobby, you're gonna wanna use any free options. iMovie comes with Macs and can be used on iPads and iPhones even. Windows Movie Maker, I believe, has been discontinued. And while there are other options, what I'd personally recommend to anyone is getting DaVinci Resolve, whether on Windows or Mac. It is a professional quality program for free. And now here's the huge tip I told you I'd be sharing just straight out the gates. No matter what program you decide to start working on, the absolute best thing you can do for yourself is to learn the specific basics of that editing software before trying to actually make the video. A good place to look up tutorials on video editing with specific programs is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of inspiring classes on topics including video editing, design, illustration, photography, and even stuff like marketing, productivity, crafts, and much more. There are video editing classes on iMovie, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and even GoPro Studio. I've used Skillshare to learn more advanced things in Adobe After Effects, like this intro title sequence you see here. For those of you who follow me, you've probably noticed in the last year, every vlog opens with a motion track title, where I try to make the text part of the video. I used to spend so much time trying to get shadows more natural, but didn't know how to do it properly and just kind of winged it. As you can see in this first one, it doesn't look awful and it works, but it doesn't look good. Now in this second one, the shadows look much more natural, and while the main text could still use work, I'm excited with learning how to get the shadows looking so much better. It took me roughly 40 minutes watching parts of Jake Bartlett's class on 3D camera tracking and After Effects, and I'm so happy with the results I'm getting already. The great thing about Skillshare is the classes average about an hour or so in total and are broken down into shorter ad-free videos, so you can just learn at your leisure. And thanks to Skillshare sponsoring this video, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to hit the link in the description will get 2-month free trial of premium membership. so you can explore your own creativity. And if you're enjoying Skillshare, it's less than 10 bucks a month with the annual subscription after that. So now that we've covered equipment, programs, and a way to watch specific tutorials on those programs you have access to, it's time to break down my personal workflow and style. So let's dive into the computer and I'll show you how I go about organizing my footage before starting a project. Let's do it. So here we have my desktop, and on it we have my G-Raid 2020 vlog hard drive. This is basically the hard drive I'm using for this entire year. So we'll go ahead and open that up. And if you don't have an external hard drive, which I highly recommend for video editing, you can at least have a folder somewhere on your computer, maybe in your movies folder, you know, that you would save as 2020 surf footage. And then you can go from there. But for me, I have it on external. And here you can see I already have it organized into year. So we start out with 2020. And then I go by month, and we have January through August. And then once you're into the month, it's best to go by day. Now, I go by episode, and that's just, you know, the way I edit things. But for yourselves, we're gonna be practicing with some iPhone footage I have here from a day ferry wake surfing with Ben Gravy. So we'll say that it happened on August 2nd, 2020. And then we'll label it ferry surf. That way we have the date and we know what is in the folder. So then once you have, here, let me make this bigger so you guys can see the whole thing. So once you have your year, month, and then day, and then within that folder, you're gonna start labeling your cameras. So we're gonna be working with iPhone footage. So we'll make a new folder that is iPhone. Now, just for hypothetical reasons, let's say this day I shot with Jeffrey. So we'll make a folder of his footage. And say he not only shot with me, but he shot some stuff from land and from the water. So we'll say there's a land folder and a water folder. So let's say we also used my Sony a6500 and maybe I flew my drone. And then since I was with Ben, let's assume he got some GoPro stuff with me. So we'll put a folder in here for Ben. And then maybe I used my own GoPro even. So as you can see, the main thing is just to have all of your cameras separated. Most of you are probably gonna be using, you know, one camera, whether it be your iPhone or a GoPro or whatever. So I'm just breaking this down to show you what makes organizing a folder easier. So again, we'll go year, month, day, and then camera. But if you only have one camera, you don't really need to do all the folders. But anyway, here we'll open the iPhone folder and we'll go ahead and take the footage from my iPhone and drop it in there. So once the footage is loaded, one main thing I like to do is organize by color and by name. So here we have an iPhone clip that I got from someone who was riding the ferry. This is a wave shot. So for me, I like to use purple for anything that I consider a good clip. So we will right click and we will go down to our tags here and we will pick purple. Now here's another iPhone clip. So right here we have a slow-mo clip of this wave with Ben and the jet ski. So for me, this is a lifestyle clip. So I'll mark a lifestyle clip, I'll right click it, I'll go down to green. And what I do going through this whole folder is label everything by color. So here's another lifestyle clip of this wave. We can label that green. We'll go through, apparently I shot a bunch of those. Green again. Here's a shot of Ben and Ryan Mack leaving. So another green. These are all lifestyle clips, meaning they aren't surfing. And then for, you know, the surfing, I have purple. So here we have another lifestyle. Another, unfortunately, this is mostly lifestyle stuff. Oh, here we go. Riding a wave. So this is a legit clip right here. I'm stoked on that, even though I wiped out. So we'll label that purple. Come in here. This wave didn't break. Let's see. Ben dropping me off. So I'll select both of those and label them green. So now we have it set up so that everything is labeled by color. So now that I have everything organized by color, and you can do this as you go through, something that's handy, say for the purple clips that I know are me, I can click on it to rename it, click after the original name, hit shift underscore, and then Brett. That way, as I go through footage, I could say like turn or air or anything like that. And when I do a search of my hard drive later, it'd be easy to find. We'll go to an example of in a previous episode. Let's try episode 42. I'll show you that I have footage from Jeffrey. Here's footage where he swam in the morning. We have lifestyle, good, purple means good. For me, I like to use red for wipeouts. It's just a personal preference. Yellow, let's see, here's a yellow one. That was Ben that day. I'll use a combination, you have all these options down here. I'll use a combination of yellow, orange, blue, and gray for other surfers. And I personally know what I like to use yellow for and what I like to use gray for. If there's a lot of guys out and I have footage of everyone, I'll use blue for most of them, and then I'll use gray or yellow for when, a specific person. But it's all personal preference. I would just recommend picking colors, figuring out what works for you. That way you have a good organization of your footage. Now, I don't have any of this named, and that's just due in part by I have a good memory, so I kind of remember where everything is for the most part. You really need to name stuff only if you're shooting footage of other people. But if it's all stuff of you, you can kind of remember like, oh, I remember in August I shot with Jeffrey in the water, and find it. So here we have footage from my Sony camera, footage from my drone, footage from Ryan Smallcheck, as you see organized there. So it's just all about organization, and this is the first part. Once you get this dialed, then you're officially ready to start your project. So we'll go to Ferry Surf. I've already created a project for it, so we'll open it up in Adobe Premiere Pro. So now that Adobe Premiere Pro is opened, I'm gonna open my Finder, and I'm going to drag my folder of surf footage in here. And because all those other folders didn't have any info in them, it only loaded the folder with clips in it. And now this process will be different depending on what program you're using. So I'm just showing you how I go about editing. Once my footage is in there, I will create a new sequence. We're gonna title this 8-2 bin ferry surf. I make it a 1080p video, which is 1920 by 1080. I always make it 23.967 frames per second. Square pixels, no fields, and these are all things that you need to look at in the tutorials based off of your specific editing software. I'm just telling you, I always edit on a 1920 by 1080 timeline. Now I'll move that project into that folder so I have everything organized, because what I'll typically do is create like a project for each month and then have all of the days mixed in. This is just a specific example for this day. So now I'm going to take all of my surf footage and I'm going to drag it in here. We'll say keep existing settings because some of this footage is shot in 4K and I want to keep it 1080, and I'll explain why here in a bit. So looking at this video, we have footage of me hanging out. We'll put this clip of Ben at the end because I know that that's going to be my ender. There's my wave. We're just going to go through this like kind of quickly. This one was us hanging out. I'm not going to use that shot. I don't like the vertical aspect of it. We'll find which wave in here looked good. I think it was this last one. Yep, that one looks pretty cool. So I will cut the end of that clip. This is just me trimming up everything real quick. And then what I'm gonna do is go in and pick a song after this. So here's another wave that looked cool. Remember, I'm not here to break down how to edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm just here to break down my workflow, from organizing the footage to putting it in the project, loading the files into the timeline, and then trimming everything up so that I can edit quicker. There's another one. You know, I don't really like that one. I'm not gonna use that one. Here's the clip that someone else got of me, which which I'm gonna zoom that in so that it is wide, even though it messes the quality up. This is just for example, so. All right, so now I have all of the footage that I plan to use. And what I'm gonna do is delete the audio from all the surfing parts. Now let's look at this. It's pretty just fun time, nothing crazy. So the main thing about the footage is you want music that works with it. But the main thing to know is that the music you pick is crucial. You do not want a hardcore rock song over longboard soft top footage. As well, you don't want some random alternative song over like crazy barrel footage. So it's all about finding the mood of the footage, watching it all, knowing in your head what it looks like, what kind of feel it gives off, and then finding a song that correlates with it. Because I came in and there wasn't enough time to go anywhere, but I got back to my truck and heard you can't just have a song that you want to edit to, get footage, and it work with the song. So get the footage first, see how it feels, then pick a song that works with it. Now I already have some music saved, so we'll open up iTunes and we will drag in this song here. This mood is very happy. You know, it's just chill, nothing crazy. It wouldn't make sense to use rock music or rap music for something like this. I'm gonna pick something that's a little more easygoing. So what I'll do is right here in this part of the song, that's where everything heats up. So what I'm gonna do is come in, this is just a quick little edit. I'm gonna zoom in and make this bigger and find where the beats are. So here you see all these spikes here, here, there. All throughout the song, you see a dip here. So what I like to do is start on like a main beat. So we'll come back here and listen to it. So you hear that, you hear it kind of ended one and started transitioning into the next bit. So right after it ends there, I'm gonna cut that. So now I'm starting on this beat. So now I've decided that's the part of the song I'm gonna use. I'll drag that to the beginning. And I'll zoom in here. And now for the beginning of the song, you don't want to start out too harsh. So what I'll do is I'll add a little fade, a fade in, however you do that. There's different ways to do that so that it fades in a little better. It's a little softer. So what I'll do is I'll open with some B-roll footage and then go, my plan is right when that beat hits there, I want the surf, I want me jumping up on the board, because it's all about timing the song with the action. So here, we will start this out. So I don't like that zoom transition there, so I'm gonna cut the clip there and move it over. We're also gonna add a fade to the beginning of this clip so that when it plays on social media, it kind of starts out nice and easy. All right, here's a huge thing. You always wanna change clips on a beat. See this spike? You wanna change on that beat. But because of the way light waves and sound waves travel, you actually wanna change it right before the beat. So we'll play through. You can use your arrow key. All right, see, you heard it coming in there. So I'm gonna start right before I hear that beat. Just one frame before, and that's where I'm gonna transition to this clip. Kind of a bummer. I need another clip because I don't have enough footage to fill up that time frame. So we'll use this as an opener because this kind of gets you psyched. So instead of using the original clip we'll move that back over. We're going to use this as the opener now. All right, look, I'm going to switch it on this beat. You don't want to switch at the peak. You want to switch a frame or two before the beat starts. So now what I can do is pull these over, pull that down. Let's remember to go in, because I switched clips, let's go in and fade this clip in. All right, we'll adjust this one. Okay, so I want to break it on this beat and go into the next clip. All right, there's another one in here. It's a subtle. So you notice that down in this portion of the song, it fades a little bit, but right there, there's a snap. Listen. So on that, I'm going to switch. Remember, go right a frame before it. We'll cut the clip. And then we will scrub forward to where it's zoomed in on me. We'll cut that and move it over. All right, so what I want to do here, you hear the anticipation, the buildup. Right there. It starts on this snap. So there's two things I could do. I can either let this clip play out and come into the new clip right before this beat. See, hits there, so I want to go one frame before. All these marks up here are frames. Or what you can do is this clip has me running. So as I'm running, I want the beat to drop as I'm jumping onto the board. So what I'll do is I'll cut that there and delete the beginning. We're going to move it back so that it starts with me jumping on the board. But what I'm going to do is go back here where that build-up changes. And when her voice comes in, the clip's going to start with me running and then jumping on. Because it's all about mood. It's all about emotion. And there's something just emotional, and there's build-up in me running and then always wanting action to happen on a beat. You always want to edit on beats. Remember, I'm right here, I'm changing here, I'm changing there, I'm changing back here. But this heavy one right here, where the tempo and everything changes, I want the action to be happening on that. And I want the clip to build up into that. So right here I fell. So what we'll do is to switch clips. There's that beat again. I'm going to cut it there. Because here's something to keep in mind. People are not as interested in your footage as you are. So you want to keep things moving kind of quick. So I could just, let it play out this whole time and people watch me falling over while this song is all upbeat and happy. Or to keep the action going, will show me getting up. So come in here, go. So we have this little section where we're playing off all these beats. So I have a transition to a different shot here, and then I'll transition to the running. And then the next part, which is the success. All on the beat. So I fell, so we're just going to stop that there. So I'm going to find what beat works best to stop on. I'm okay with stopping on this one. So we'll delete it. And then we'll bring in the next clips. So the song has a steady tempo, and you want to play off that tempo. You don't want to be changing on any beat, but on specific beats. So basically on this one, it's almost like you're changing every 2 or 3 beats. And every song's different. It's all about feeling out the mood, feeling out the footage you have and what works. Now this is kind of a random clip, but we'll put it in there. Here, we'll switch these up actually and use the other one as a outro. So we'll go from this wave to a lifestyle shot, to another wave, to a lifestyle shot. Now look, the clip ends after this beat, but we don't want that. So we'll shorten up the beginning a little, pull it back, cut it right before the beat, move this forward. Boom, tempo changes. So now we have the ender.
Drive safe, boys.
So as the tempo changes, that's how we're going to end the video.
Drive safe, boys. DelawareSubaru.com.
So what I'm going to do here is I want to end the video here. And why? Because if you listen to this portion of the song, you'll notice that as we go into this next part, the beat starts building again. So I don't want to include that. So I'll delete the end of the song. We'll come in here. We notice that this is the last high beat and it's finishing with a subtle tone. So I'm going to fade out from that point on. So we'll cut the clip of them driving out at the end. Actually, you know what? We'll get a little fancier with it. We will show them pulling away.
See y'all next time.
I want to finish this like this. Clip goes out to here, and we will fade from here out for everything. For the video, for the audio, for the song.
See y'all next time.
Boom. Now we have just created ourselves a video.
See y'all next time.
Boom, our project is done. It is time to export. Now, I told you guys I always edit on a 1080 timeline. For me, that is because I edit a lot of 4K footage. So like on this clip, for example, I could zoom in on it and do some technical like zoom out thing right here. This is all beyond you. I'm just explaining why. So I can do little tricks like that without zooming in past the right amount of pixels. And now here's the trick. When I go to export, I'm gonna go to File, Export Media. And when I go to export, I always pick H.264. That's the best for the web. I match the source of high bit rate. I'm gonna name it, I like Out82 Ben Ferry Surf. I'll send it to the desktop for now. And then down here under video, I'm gonna export it as a 4K file, which is 3840 by 2160. The reason I export a 4K file from a 1080 timeline is because no matter where you put it, whether at Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, they compress it. So what I do is I export the 1080 file, let's say it's this big, and I export it out to here. Then when I upload it, the websites that compress it are just gonna compress it back to where it was. So this is the best way I've figured out to get high quality content online, is basically uploading, a larger file resolution than what you edited in. It stretches those pixels out, the websites stretch them back, you're good. So I'm exporting it as a 4K file, and I'm gonna use software encoding. This is all a little beyond you guys, but if you have the opportunity to pick your target bitrate and your maximum bitrate, 16 for your target, 50 for your max is a solid quality clip for Instagram or Facebook. You see it's 86 megabytes, it's not real big, it's gonna look great. We'll hit export. All right, the file is complete. So we will hide Premiere. We'll hide our Finder, and there on our desktop is our file. Now I didn't go through any color correction or anything like that because that's all honestly personal preference and a little advanced. There's other tutorials for stuff like that. I wanted to break down how I go about editing those. And so now here's your final thing. You can upload from here to Facebook. You can share it through AirDrop to your phone, which mine's not popping up right now because it's turned off. And then the final thing you want to do is open your hard drive and have an exports folder and keep your organization going here. So I have vlog exports, I have family, and I have social. So this one would go under social. So now I have it on my hard drive and I have it on my desktop and it's not going anywhere. And I've officially completed this video. I can save my project and I can close Premiere and go back outside and have a good day. Now there's so many aspects of video editing I can touch on, but the main thing I wanted to talk about was music and editing on the beat and how I export, because that's kind of the bread and butter. You can get in depth with color correction or editing tricks and whatnot, way beyond what's doable in this video. The more you edit and the more you learn, the more you'll find yourself wanting to do it more. And as your knowledge grows, the ease of use becomes greater and you'll be throwing things together quicker and easier as time goes on. Whether you're a kid looking to make surfing a career and want to learn how to edit surf videos of yourself, or you're a parent and you just want to be able to share videos of your kids surfing with relatives. I hope you learned something here and either finally take that step to get started or found out ways to improve. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I know there's so many things I didn't touch on, but like I said, this was meant to be specific on how to get started and how I think about organizing, editing, and exporting my footage. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. See y'all next time.